Yeah, Eric, there are so many complicated legal issues here, so we're going to sort them all out with our legal panel. Misty Maris, a trial attorney, and Robert Schalk is a defense attorney and a former prosecutor. Good to see both of you. Robert, I'll start with you on this. Let's talk about those protests. Are they legal?
The protest itself that led to the march over the weekend were legal. But now that you're talking about the Bundys and these militia, armed militia, they won't say what kind of weapons they have, but admitting that they have weapons in a government building where they've gone in there, they broke in because they didn't have keys, and now they're staying there. So they're facing the prospect of a 2B2.3 federal trespass or burglary violation. And if you take it further, if they find out that they have weapons there, you're talking about increasing their possible sentencing if they are eventually charged. And I think if they don't leave peacefully, that the government should pursue charges against them.
And how high might the sentencing go?
Well, the sentencing guidelines... Right, the sentencing guidelines, depending on, in the federal system, depend on someone's criminal history, the type of offense that they're charged with, whether they had a weapon. So you're talking years in prison, which could be the possible sentence for these people.
Misty?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I think I'm going to take it a step further and say you have this militia that's calling people with arms, basically threatening the police, threatening government agencies that are coming in to break them, take them out of there when they're trespassing. I think we could even be seeing a domestic terrorism type charge come our way if this erupts in violence. Absolutely.
And how serious is that charge?
That is a very serious charge. That could be federal sentencing, and which would increase these sentences significantly.
So what Misty is talking about, as you know, that Ammon Bundy, he posted on his Facebook, he says, "All patriots, it's time to stand up, not stand down. We need your help. Come prepared."
I have no problem with a call to action if you feel as if someone's constitutional rights are being infringed upon, these people in Oregon. Here's the problem. The people in Oregon aren't the ones who are asking for the call. It's this individual from Nevada that has a beef with the federal government. If he believes, or the people of Oregon believe, that the government is taking land that doesn't belong to them, is infringing on their rights with regards to them being ranchers, is unlawfully sentencing the Hammonds, which is the case that was mentioned in the story.
Right.
There are lawyers, there are ways in which you can file lawsuits against the government to get your property back, to say my rights are being violated. To call to action over the internet individuals with weapons to come to a state and overtake a building is not the right way to go about doing it.
In the meantime, Misty, to let you jump in there, but meantime, as you know, these Ammon and his gang, they're saying, and by the way, we are going to remain peaceful, but if they come at us, we will defend ourselves.
Absolutely. They've come out and said it. They said we have people that are willing to die and people that will use violence if the police come in. And in this situation, the police have no choice but to come in. They're illegally trespassing. And that's why this is not a peaceful protest like the ones that are valid and great and part of our democratic system. This is not peaceful. This is calling to action weapons and violence against officials.
So, Robert, I mean, again, what happens if it comes to this, where those protesters, the militia, they're armed, and if the police come after them, they say, well, they're going to, act in self-defense. Would that be considered self-defense?
No, in my opinion, because they're going to be given the opportunity to peacefully leave or to work out some sort of arrangement where they vacate the premises and they're allowed to protest elsewhere, where it's not in their First Amendment right to assembly, where they can go and have their protest. But to do so where you're infringing on the opportunity for this government building to do its job every single day, for people to come to work and operate, if they start violence with the police, the charges against them are only going to be ratcheted up. You're talking about federal domestic terrorism charges can carry life in prison or the death penalty.
And you can't be under the veil of protest and break the law.
Misty Maris, Robert Schalk, good to see both of you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Chantal.
Of course. Eric?